Yeah.
Put your hands up. Ah, shame on you. Would you like to meet or just talk to people? Maybe pleasant. Maybe they thought of it. Okay, right. Fine. As in the world, as usual, the bossy person.
Sorry?
Good. The bossy person that's won this evening. And Clover, who has the best name here, please step forward.
I've had one, I know anywhere it is. I want to find it in case you win. Yeah.
So they're just up there.
I like this people power, but I will do that after this Can everybody just everybody else?
Are you going to in a minute?
Stop.
Okay, then don't quit on halfway through. Let's totally put me out. Okay. Hi everyone. No, I'm just going to do a little one. I'm just going to do a long one. Now I'm going to do a little one. I'm just going to go. Every moment that goes by, history holds her head up high and she asks us what we have done. I saw you sat opposite me today. With your eyelashes waving in every direction, I sensed you were somewhere else, consumed by yet another distraction. You retracted your gaze and you faded down to the floor before I saw you look up. I think you thought you saw something. I think you thought you saw a glimmer of hope. Now, I can't profess to be able to cope with everything, but on that morning I wasn't falling, and so I smiled at you. And those eyes that you can only ever find in a stranger glided straight into mine. We stopped and we looked, hung in the air as we fell into something that we dared to seek. And with a tilt of your head and a twirl of your cheeks, you smiled back at me. And all of those distractions, they flew away, onto the seconds that had gone before and onto the rest of the day. But for that time, you and I, we just smiled. I moved to get up out of my seat, and you neatly turned your legs and twisted your feet, and as I pegged it for my next train, all I could think was she wasn't afraid. Now this is my habit, and I must admit that when I really, really feel like shit, I do break it. But I try and smile at about 30 strangers a day, and I'm convinced at least half of them probably think I'm crazy. When it's 8 AM and everyone just wants to be in bed, why is that chick grinning at me? I do try and tread carefully, but I do it. Because one day, you might smile back at me, and that could make both of our days. Or maybe not even days, maybe just minutes, maybe just seconds. But those could be seconds of relief when things are really tough. And in a world that can be so relentless, tell me, aren't seconds reason enough? Thank you.
When a train appeared at the station and footsteps filled my ear. As the platform cleared, I noticed a girl distressed in a mess, cheeks black with tears. She removed the scrumpy jack from her black rucksack, artfully arched her neck and threw the contents back. Worry lines were etched upon her pretty face as she was sitting fed. A cliched and predictable depiction of a life defaced and pissed away. It was plain as day to see that she was in pain and in need of a friendly face. I sat patiently on the adjacent seat and waited for a chance to speak. I saw her glance at me. I could have buried my head in my book and looked far away, but I wasn't scared or shook, so I dared to look and bookmark the page. I saw her as vulnerable, someone who needed to be saved. But a picture painted can be portrayed and perceived in many different ways. One person's cage created can be another's purposeful escape. To think this girl needs saving could well be an ignorant mistake. The lies recognised her word as true.
In the beginning was the word, and the word was spoken. In the beginning was spoken word. In the beginning was the word, and the word had flow. It knew where it had to go, guided by a primary impulse along the path of least resistance. On a mission to illuminate the crown, it was these words that carried light at the speed of sound. And these words, when recited, vibrated, and the people who heard them elated, delighted. You know you can't fight it. When these words hit the sense and your soul gets excited. When you gasp in the dark and you grasp where the light is. Magical symbols and metaphors, opening subconscious doors. Sages from across the ages carved these words onto cave walls and scrawled onto scrolls by ancient scholars and bards, telling stories of stars. It was these words that kept us connected with that from which we are carved. But instead of travelling direct as you'd expect, these words got intercepted by the intellect and got taken out of context, attached to a false pretext, and summarised into grotesque muted versions of their self. And these words stripped of their wealth and worked into lessons that lie about blessings. In the beginning were these flaky white scratch words, screeching in protest onto blackboards. Not that I ever took any notice. Pedagogy got groggy, fell asleep, I was that bored. Teacher talk time was my fall asleep time. Time to dream up rhymes. In the beginning was the word, and the word was mum, who gave my bum degrees of the third. Because I did not heed the word. Still, in the beginning was Dr. Zeus. He put to use a rhyme of repetition ruse that first triggered the juice that whetted the appetite that I am now constantly got to fight to satisfy. Now, I know that there's some poets who don't rhyme. What, you think I'm not aware of that fact? The question remains, why the fuck would you do that? In the beginning was the word, each to their own. In the beginning was the word that cried to be heard. Yet for nearly 50 years I've been resisting these words. But they didn't give up, they kept insisting these words. So now it's down to me to get the right words in the right freaking order. If I'm to write down these words that I'm thinking in my head, there's no way around it. I've got to start thinking and laying down lead. Because now the truth within me has awoken. And all resistance has finally been broken. And I ain't going to stop until I can recite what the heart has spoken. Till I can recite these words that bring a joy that these words could never explain. So when you find yourself at a loss for words, well, there's these words that will offer direction. Make a selection, yeah, there might be a bit of saliva, but you ain't going to drown, because these words will find you. Now, I know these words ain't the most elegant. If elegant is a flight of a swan, then I'm more your elephant. Still, I wrote these words, and I hope some of these words hit the spot. If not, I'm fucked up. These words are all I got. These words and the friends I share them with. The pith, the core of my existence. So these words may need a little assistance, not to get caught up in the weeds and the rocks. The communication blocks, the whys and the whats. With a little paddle on your part, these words can hit the mark. You see, these words ain't aiming for your heart. These words are aiming for your heart. And I know they ain't perfect, but you know what? Let's make a start. Big it up, Poetry Jam! I'm not late. I was just giving her a chance to do that. Yeah, but you know, I'll ignore it, you know what I mean? So your schedule, yeah, you know what you do?
Right.
And you know, I really want to thank you all for coming, because this is a lovely turnout. Yeah, shall I just keep yapping, yeah? Or shall I just bring on an open mic?
Drive away, Putin, drive him away, drive away, Putin.
Blah! Black robes, golden shoulders, parishioners crawl and bow, unbrained. Freedom only in your afterlife. Gay pride sent to Siberia in chains. The KGB boss is their chief saint. He leads protesters to the prison cells, in order not to offend the Holy One. Women, shut up, give birth, purchase chemical smells. Shit, shit, the Lord, shit, 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 the Lord, shit, 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 the Lord, shit.
Saint Mary, Virgin, become a feminist.
The church praises the rotting dictators, the black limo procession of the holy. In school, you're going to meet with a teacher preacher. Go to class, bring him money. The patriarch believes in Putin. Bitch, you better believe in God. The Virgin's bell can't replace protest. Blessed Mary with us in the mob. Shit, shit, Jesus, shit, 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 Muhammad, shit, 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 Buddha, shit.
Saint Mary, Virgin, drive away Putin, drive him away.
Provide the glisten of desire that resides in your eye. I want to be your bed, your sheet, your pillow and your cover. The one that you smother, your bedtime lover, comfort in the form of a significant other, your cocoa butter, invade your pores with the cream of me, just so I can touch you ubiquitously, your pupils. Teach me to see that I'm the one for you, and you complete me. The only Facebook message you reply to. I want to be the reception your lickers will bind to, the pen that you chew, your most comfortable shoes, the one finger level who's the only choice you ever choose. I want to be every single girl you have ever encountered, so that technically I'm the only one. The game you play for fun. I'll let you monopolize and think that you've won fairly, because I want to be the hand that you lay. I'll let you handwrite my game for. I want to be poetry you write, a sublimation with a flow that's so tight, like your boy's shell instances of carefree joy fight. Your fight, share your pain and make it my own. Your phone, use me to communicate. All feelings of love, loss, despair, hate. I want to be soca that makes you whine. Pine the architecture of your love line. Please let me design the memory you trigger when you're down. The riddle you ponder that makes you frown with confusion, trying to figure the answer. I'll be your lecturer. Guide to conclusion that it's all because you love her. Your student ID? I want to be part of your identity. Provide knowledge. See, you need me to get into the library. I'd even be your glass half full of Coke and JD, if that's all you need from me. Thank you.
She'd never sit in traffic seething, gritting her teeth through rapid breathing. This girl is charming, ethereal, sprinkling raisins on her whole way of cereal. She practices the art of Bikram yoga. She glides about in floating poses. At work, she's highly organised. She greets the world with boardroom eyes. She's hard-nosed and she's seriously focused. She does not swoon deliriously at any man who happens to be passing the vicinity in under 35. At home, she's always calm, collected, merry, channeling the soul of Mary Berry. She likes to bake, but when Nigella's carrot cake is done, she takes her time. She does not think that it is fine to take the tin to bed, even though she's adequately fed already. Her attitude to food is moderation, self-denial, and determination. In short, she likes her food but doesn't stuff. She doesn't end up getting in a huff if grub is not provided every hour. She has this thing they like to call willpower. She doesn't use a takeaway to cope. She doesn't find a source of manic hope in chocolate. Underneath the duvet, stuffing Lindors at 3 a.m. She doesn't hug them to her chest and mutter, "Who needs men?" In company, she's absolutely ravishing. She does not spend the evening vanishing in sight to stalk the buffet table. She knows how to hold her drink. She doesn't teeter on the brink of social suicide. She's never been intoxicated. She doesn't get incarcerated. She flirts because she finds it fun. She talks to men who do not run away. In this girl's life, nothing ever goes wrong. Nothing is ever cringe.com. This is a dignified interior, vision so superior to the tragically inferior reality. The disparity that's evident in every single element of my real life. This girl tantalizes me with everything that I could be. If I could just learn to act in a way that would attract the right sort of attention. But despite my consistently hopeful intentions, I always seem to fail. Like, now this is actually true, like when I decided to go for a swim and backstroking fast with far too much vim, I ended up straddling a bathing old lady, who promptly shrieked, scared stiff, like I was crazy. Unlike my inner Doris Day, I hurtled through life in complete disarray. My driving's a thing that has caused much dismay. You only get in my car once, people say. I've almost killed grannies and terrified children. When giving directions, I just cause confusion. I simply don't know my left from my right. I'm as blind as a bat without glasses in sight. Although I would love to be graceful and lean, most days I am anything but so serene. I amble through life with a twitch in my eye. I carry emergency packs of pork pies. I still can't add up without using my fingers. The shadow of tortures in maths lesson lingers. I say the wrong thing when I should just say nothing. I'm terrified someone will see that I'm bluffing, but there's nowhere to hide with my poker face blushing. It's my burning ambition's bereavement that most days is getting over the achievement. But evidently I'm being silly. Blatantly that other girl's a total wimp. A stuck-up, boring, and a twat. Who cares if I'm a twat? Who cares if I always drink and swear? At least I'm having fun, so there. Last week, in Clapham Junction, the counsellor, she said to me, "It's all inside your head." "It's in my head," I said. "It's in your head," she said.
Me out here in the cold, don't need no stranger to lighten my load. No knight in no armor to come save my soul. My fingers are frozen right down to the bone. I lost all the feeling in most of my toes. I may be healing, but one thing I know I could do with some sugar in my empty bowl. I could do with somebody I can just hold. Don't need the sun to shine all the time. Don't need the sun to shine all the time. Once in a while I see somebody who I wouldn't mind holding on to. Don't need no joker to lighten my mood. No ultimate answer to my solitude. I'm tired of hearing the stories of fools with no style and no grace, just all attitude. I may be healing, but one thing is true. I could do with some sugar when I'm feeling blue. I could do with somebody I can just hold on to. Don't need the sun to shine all the time. Don't need the sun to shine all the time.
He drank lazily the wine of his earthy kiss, while he shuddered and awed at the twist of her couple of thighs. She was ice cool, but full of daring. He was a ball of agony boiling over with yearning. She was mellow, he was on fire. She was fed by natural charms. He was driven crazy by wild desire. It was a jazz, salsa, tango, a melon, lemon, mango. A static garden with swaying palms and no sense of time. Poem that writes itself, creates its own rhythm and rhyme. A jazz, salsa, tango. A melon, lemon, mango. Just goes to prove how sweet and eternal those fruits of love. Oh, how sweet and eternal those fruits of love. One more time. Should have got it by now. Melon, lemon, mango. Melon, lemon, mango. £2 a box, East Street Market, Saturday. Thank you.
I could never take him back. But all this reminds me of an idea that I used to have about him. Well, it'll sound mystical and silly. Well, since you're so persistent, well, it's that he wants so much. He's like a kid at the fair. A jelly apple here, cotton candy there, and then a ride on the loop-and-loop. And it never lets up in him. Sometimes it's as though he's lived another life before, completely deprived. And this time round, he mustn't miss a single thing. And that's what's so attractive about him. To women, I mean. Lyman's mind is up your skirt, but it is such a rare thing to be wounded like that. Indifference is what most men feel now. They have an appetite, but no hunger. And he is such a splendidly hungry man. And well, simply, it's precious when you're past 25. I'll tell you the truth, I think I knew somewhere deep down something about him wanting on the level, but I guess that I just loved him so much that But I mustn't talk like that. He's unforgivable. It's the wrongest thing I ever heard. The answer is no. Absolutely not. It's the first one. And this is the next one. It's a bit sad, but it's okay, it works at the end. I'm what became of your child. I found no baby picture of me, and it was somebody else, not me. It was somebody pink and fat who never heard of sick or lonely. Somebody who cried and got fed, and reached up and got held and kicked, but didn't hurt anybody. Somebody who mainly just laid there and laughed at the colours waving round over her head, and chewed on a polka dot whale, and drooled on the sheep, and felt your hand pulling my quilt back over me. That's who I started out, and this is who's left. That's what this is about. It's somebody I lost, right? It's my own self, who I never was, or who I tried to be and never got there. Somebody I waited for who never came and never will. So, see, it doesn't matter what else happens in the world, or in this house even. I'm what was worth waiting for, and I didn't make it. Me. That might have made a difference to me. I'm not going to show up, and so there's no reason for me to stay, except to keep you company. And that's reason enough. Thank you. I didn't change the end of that one, because, yeah, it's from a play where she kills herself. She's explaining to her mother why she's going to kill herself. Yeah. Okay. Question. Next one is, let's see. Okay.
Oh my, but you had no desire to upgrade with your wife because she would always remain the plan. And even though I knew that this relationship was limited, I wanted more. And I was willing to pay the price, but you gave me airtime at my peak time when I chose love at the wrong time with you. I refused to be her. The liar, the betrayer, the sideline hoe, the type to start a conversation that, oh, did he hear what she did? I can't believe her. You see, they all define me based on what they saw, and they made conclusions about me. But they didn't know me. And they certainly didn't know you, because if they did, they'll know that I was the one who you ran to in your moment of fear. I was the one who held the bucket that you filled with your tears. I was even the one who spoke to about your choice in career. I was the one who held your dreams and treasured them so dear. But I was not her. I would never be her. She was the apple in your eye, and I soon became the thorn in your side when you realized that this affair had served its time. Because when you first met me, you perceived me as a damsel in distress, and you wanted to play my knight in shining armor, but you see, my name wasn't Sleeping Beauty, and this wasn't a dream, it was a reality, so you couldn't kiss me away. And not like Hollywood, where you can play my action hero, because once you realized that this was not a script, but the story of my life, it was too late. Because none of us could say cut. Because our hearts were too involved, but tell me, how could something so wrong feel so right? They say YOLO, that you only live once, but I was living each day just for you. And I know that if you ended this relationship, then you slowly be killing me inside. Because the word he spoke to me made me believe this was destiny. The way he touched me took the very breath from me. The beat of your heart was the reason for my fidelity. But you were never mine, so this was never meant to be yet. My vulnerability to you led me on the path of adultery. Because I became the other woman. You promised me a love, but in the same breath, you said in the name of true religion, her you could never leave. Yet you always found yourself in my jeans.
You bought me all the latest designers just to keep me appeased, but what I failed to realize was that even the devil wears Prada. So now I'm stuck here in this hell of misery. Because my heart you deceived, and in me you conceived the fruit of illegitimacy, something that she couldn't even give you exclusively, a baby. Why all you're here making excuses, you see, and I've got a decision to make. To give life or to take life for the sake of love. I said to give life or to take life for the sake of love. Do I let the world see that the fruit inside has become ripe, or pluck it out while it's at its prime? You see, it was never my intention to become her, but love got in the way. Then betrayal came along, and now I'm stuck with a mistake, and I've got a choice to make. I said to give life or to take life for the sake of love. To give life or to take life for the sake of love, but whose love will it be? Mine, his, or hers?
Construction mode, trying to let off their heavy load. So calling all men and women of today, please help them men and women of tomorrow, for they shouldn't need to beg, steal or borrow. We all have been there, so we should know it's the strength they need, so they may grow. And that knowledge we should show. We know time is longer than rope, but it can be like a lasso around the throat, especially the ones that take the dope, the deadly crack, and the coke. But they're all taking it as a joke. That's why we should teach them it's no fun. For their brains it will surely numb, and their lives soon will be done. It could be your daughter, it could be your son. That's why something must be done before that time decides to come.
Thanks, man. So yeah, and I've just been in a 3-hour session. I'm doing a script writing course, and it's really cool. It's really amazing. It's pushing me in, making me think in all kinds of new ways. And I'm going to try a little something with you guys. I don't know, it might be a bit controversial. I don't know, I thought it was amazing. I thought it was wicked. So yeah, I mean, it's not really. But yeah, I just thought, do you mind kind of helping me out? Yeah. You do mind? Yeah. Don't mind? Okay, cool. Alright, basically, I'll tell you a little bit about the course. So, I'm doing a course with English Pen and Oval House, and it's on, it's called Speak for Yourself, and kind of looking at freedom of speech. And first session we were talking a lot about privilege, what privilege is, what privilege means. And we're kind of playing with the idea of the privilege that an artist has, and a writer, and or anybody that performs, kind of the privilege that people are listening to you, you know. So thank you, first and foremost, thank you for listening. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind, would you all stand up? Cool. Alright, basically, behind me is some birds. Do you like the birds? They're cool. I'm loving the birds right now. So I want you to imagine that these birds, this is like the sky. This is like, it's like heaven. This is the goal, yeah, behind me. And these birds are kind of like, when you reach the end of your life and you're kind of just flying free. Just put that in your head. So this is the goal, and we're all racing towards this end. So we're all going to kind of have a race. So you might just have to kick chairs out of the way, you know, do what you need to do, you know, because we need to win, you know. So before we start the race, there's a couple of things I just want to try out. How's everyone's legs? Are you all alright? No injuries? If you've got injury, you might want to sit down. We're going to kind of be going up and down a little bit, so you know, we're working a little bit. Right. Okay, cool. A couple of people sat down, cool. If you have a smartphone, like a phone, you know, with internet and, you know, cool things, I just want you to kind of prop yourself up a little bit. And if you don't have one, I just want you to take yourself down an inch. Cool, okay, cool. If you live in a semi-detached house, or a detached house, you kind of prop yourself up a little bit. Yeah? If you live in, you know, a tower block or an estate or anything like that, just take yourself down a little bit. Cool. All right. All the women! Love you, women. Just take yourself down an inch. Sorry. All the guys, you know, you put yourself up. And if you're up, you can start reaching up to your tiptoes, you know, get yourself going. Cool. If you're white, put yourself up a little piece, bring your chest out if you need to. Yeah? If you're anything else, take yourself down. Take yourself down an inch, yeah? Okay. If you was born here in England, take yourself. Okay. If you was born elsewhere, down. Take yourself down 2 inches. Cool. Some people's legs kind of shaking. It's like, oh, I don't know how much further down I can go. Okay, cool. I think we're all ready. You all know where you're standing. You all know where you are right now. Yeah, just kind of. All right, cool. All right, when you're ready, I want get set, go for God. No, you're joking. That's cool. All right, thank you very much. Oh, you can sit down. You know, that was it. Yeah. So.
Gripping mind like I'm scared. Keep me safe, she said. Because tonight she wanted to tell me about dolls with swords. Her eyes falling away from mine, like a lost wave saying goodbye from some bigger distance, or a pain that I couldn't touch with a million fingers, because it was made by fire. Told her she didn't have to tell me if she didn't want to. She said, "Are you scared?" I said, "I don't know." And there's nothing more frightening than that. Rising from the bed, she fixed her gaze onto a lonely street light outside and put flame to her last cigarette. Dolls with swords. I remember those plastic eyes hiding behind the thick smoke of his long spliff. I wanted them so much to cry with me, to weep for as long as I did, but in the dark, all sadness is hidden. My room was a cage of nightmares. My sheets were dead virgins, and it didn't stop. It couldn't stop because it felt good only when I felt bad. And I remember smashing my head against a picture of when I was 6, only because then I was pure. And the way the blood sat over the clear glass made the picture so fucking real. Some nights he would tell me how amazing I was. He would kiss my breasts that weren't breasts. He would run his body over mine as if ploughing through a garden of dead flowers. He would say, "We're the bestest friends," whilst helping me to put my Lion King pajamas back on. And he'd place a doll close to my chest to keep the monsters away. There was alcohol and cigarettes that became my world. As each time he pushed his mouth against mine, I would breathe in their spirit, engendering the words that later would sound like "I need a hit, how much for the night, and yes, you can fuck me, but please hold me after." You understand now why I always wanted the sex to be hard, because I needed to be punished. Punished for the silence I kept between my teeth, under my tongue and in my dreams. Punished for all the times I let him rupture me, keeping his sickness a prisoner to my womb, because whenever his fingers went inside me, they would always pull something back out, like a smile, a leap, a child. When did it stop, I asked? She picked up a piece of the broken moon and held it to her eye. When I got in the car for the first time, I was 12 years old, in a side street where piss streaks run down the side of walls smug like you're a long way from Disneyland, sweetheart. There was no "how old are you? Have you eaten? Were you raped as a child?" Only him again. When I smoked my first joint, I was 12 years old. I felt the air become his hands reaching into my throat, his stubble rubbing up against me until my skin turned hard and I saw him again. And when a stranger beat me, I just lay there. The old sound of knuckle on bone, the mad eyes, the anger. I understood everything, so I didn't flinch. I just smiled as the blood from my nose ran against my lipstick. And I kissed it, waiting, as I always did, for a doll to be placed against my heart. After all this, I found the soul to love at 23. A man who would write my stories the only way he knew how, setting pictures in the minds of strangers of a girl who by the time she would reach 24 would inject enough heroin into her frail body that it could have killed her 3 times over. dying forgetfully in nobody's room because the man telling this story broke her for the last time with the emptiness of his goodbye, and I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore. I was buried gently on no particular day in a place of earth and rain, with a dog pressed close against my heart to keep the monster away.
How I don't care you're a vegetarian, and I don't care that I'm becoming a vegetarian. It's wandering around a market, wondering what you would like. The joy of finding a treat we can share. It's how you spend your time savoring every moment. The calm you bring that soothes but never smothers. It's sitting in a silence more comfortable than 1,000 words. How time seems eternal, yet hours pass in a blink together. It's how I don't want to say it because I can feel it so strongly. In every moment I'm with you like a heartbeat that's shared. It's there in your presence when you take my arm. A bond that I felt when we first kissed. It's finding the door to that secret garden I lost faith in, countless years ago. It's looking at you and wanting a daughter, because the world will always need what you bring. It's not me. It's not you. It's us. The fairy queen. Goddess. And secret.
Pretty much this is more like a healing. I'm going to like I've got local friends here also support yeah. So the two things that inspire me most are people, pain, and passion. The pain I'm not really going to get into very much, but once this poem sort of kind of one of it. So here it goes. It rips inside like a burning flame, night and day perpetually. Echoes resonate down my spine, and silent sorrow, never seen or heard, but sharp pain. Exteriors of iron, interiors of passions, all its facets, immersed in the treasures of nature, within and without. The burning flame forever lives, perpetual ecstasies, intensities of living.
Touch the ceiling, and then sort of stretch it back a bit, then stretch it forward, and then when you're sitting down for a long time, you know your bum gets a bit numb. So what I'd like you to do, no, this is my part, girlfriend, what I'd like you to do is massage the bum cheeks of the person in front of you. Okay. Turn to the person next to you, shake their hand.
Oh, hug them. Hug them.
Shake their hand.
I'm meaning to wear these for too long. Let's start off with pain written on a day of bloodshed. Recently, one of those women Red Sea days. Was it homicide? Was it suicide? It was more suicide. And so this came out. It's all really shit, isn't it? Outrageous pain of solo hours, and the sun is out, and the sun sun is out. Toxic tears cut my spleen. When you touched my fingers gently and looked lovingly into my eyes, I thought I was dreaming. I was inside a pain-free concept of heaven. Don't let go of that dream. Thank you. Chapter 1, 8 short poems in alphabetical order. Ache of a stake in my heart to dance. I ache for the floor with more. Transcendence breaks me, thus sets me free. Angel again arrives on your cream puff. Ashtrays, never enough. Ashtrays, branch breaks and falls, branch breaks and falls. The terrier in the blue sweater freezes, gash strokes the homeboy on rough turf. Jazz eternal in the rhythm of my mind. Love light brush on your tummy. Volume loud in the den of iniquity. I adore all vibrations inside this memory. Perspiration, a plethora of masculinity. I miss the touch. Nocturnal home.
We went to buy a mop in Holloway. The guy said that it was £7.50. My mother said, I don't think so. There are more hairs on my muff than there are on my mop. There's £3 of natural mops.
Do you want a microphone?
No.
Nice and loud.
And as a mature woman, I'm fading slightly, so sometimes for my recreation I go and have lunch in the park. And this is what happens. I sat in the shade of a silver birch. It was a warm, heady, fragrant kind of day. I opened my book, Christina Rossetti, Romantic Poetry. I took a bite of my butty. Tuna, sweet corn, a low-fat mayonnaise on rye. I was then distracted by a guy wanking in the rhododendron. So mesmerised was I by his jerky rhythm that I sat transfixed. And you know what? He mistook this for genuine interest. And upon his ever so noisy completion, strolled over and asked me out on a date. Of course, not my rules. At least I know what's important. What is really nice is I'm able to sort of look at young men and they don't take any notice of me, sort of going busy. So I can just sit and admire. So what can I do? What can I do? I've got the hots for a guy aged 22. I suppose I could get out my best canary yellow flannelette double sheets with the wide satin borders. Put some plastic sheeting on the orthopedic mattress. I'll put some fluffy towels in the bathroom, the ones embroidered with cute little cats. You'd like those because it's quite artistic. I'm still on vinyl, so I can play my Demi Rousseau and cook Toad in the Hole to get in the mood. I may wear my flares and a Grateful Dead t-shirt, which is a bit tight, but hey, I'm going to put my best floppy breast forward. Pluck out my one remaining grey pubic hair. And get ready to party. And when he turns up, I'll say, hi. Facebook, Giggy Wiggy, Megabytes, HTML, Quark. Apple, did you bring your Pine Pod with you? Oh, yes. And if it comes to sex, I'll say, darling, you must do it with ease. I could, with your help, get down on my knees. And no, I don't mind a little abasement. Just try not to dissipate the hip replacement. To be honest with you, I don't fucking cook for anything. I don't. I stopped it about 10 years ago. And this is why. I don't bother cooking for anyone anymore. It has become too complicated because you always have at least 2 vegetarians who eat fish, but not with ham. There's a vegan there that wears leather shoes. There's a lot microbiotic maniac who eats anything but in a somewhat guilty fashion. And they want to know if the food has been baked, roasted, boiled, or toasted. And then, you know that voice, that irritating voice that goes, have you got any fruities? So I say, I've got blackberry, cranberry, orange, echinacea, bilberry, blueberry, peppermint, blackberry, cardamom, chamomile, and elderflower hibiscus. And a satisfied smile spreads across his face. And he says, oh, but do you have any Jihok herbal tea? Because I'm just back from Japan, and this tea is fantastic. It's light and aromatic. No, I don't, I say. But what I do have is a garden full of Japanese nuttery. So go and fucking suck on that.
Oh, you're losing yourself in the name of fun.
Crumble under the weight of a society that judges you on what you've been given. Disadvantaged technically, some would say ethnically, but that same ethnicity opened windows into worlds that only I can see. And my lips can speak with such fluency in melodies that transcend between just you and me. And I can dance between them effortlessly, stand back and distance myself from any religious necessity, while still tasting those bittersweet hypocrisies. But I live in a world that judges you on what you've been given. The truth lies politically. Lord knows I had no control over my geography. Around here, the color of your skin don't matter, see. But that's why it confuses me. When I walk down your street, and I'm some novelty, you can systematically categorize me, lock me up, and call it charity. What's really missing in our society is an understanding of solidarity. But we live in a world that judges you on what you've been given. I can only be grateful for the gift of my anatomy. But that same gift gives you power over me. So you can rape me, blind me with your acidity, tell me I'm not meant to see those flaws in our policies. But I see through that glass so vividly. And we live in a society that judges you on what you've been given. So please, tell me how I ought to be.
Sitting on a milk crate outside a Hamley's toy store, a torn McDonald's paper cup in front of her, and the dirt around her nails was not going to budge, no. And her thin skirt had a dance of its own, flashing her skinny cinnamon legs, fat white sport socks on her feet stuffed into buckled sandals, sole worn down to one side, and a rage spoke to me. What was this little elderly black woman sitting in the cold, in a summer dress, in an old coat, on one of London's richest roads. She could have been my nanny. The spit in my mouth dried up and no words would come, so I bent down and I gave her my scarf. And the £10 I went to the cash point to get. So much cotton wool in my mouth I was close to choking. And her hand faintly touches mine as she takes the note. And she looks down at the brown image of the Queen of England smiling back at her. Hey, wait! Sit down. Sit. What's your name, child? There's a song I want to sing to you. A song I want to sing to you, but not that my voice is any good. It got cracked, broken when the moon looked away one time. But I don't blame her. She's not that easily distracted. But there was a real war going on one time, so she just turned for a moment to see what all the noise was, and when she did, my tongue looked shattered. I was sore for a day or two, but I still remember the melody. Now don't expect clear water, child. All I have is soft, mottled syrup, clotted near the aorta of a harmony, but sweet it is liable to break your heart instead. Yes, I believe I can say that with a humble authority. And these lips have been chapped from all the hurricanes I have blown, all the circle songs that raise the dead that camp out in my backyard, but I'm not ashamed of those angels, no, not me. I got a song I want to sing you, child. Something I am proud of. See, I am a lady. Well, I might not look it now, but I'm a lady with a blues song made of diamonds, ash, and soft golden syrup. I got the whole world in my hand. I overstand the rites of passage to your master plan. Under a purple passion halo, I am womb man. To shake the patience of this world. I hit a shakalaka-lack of the suffering strain for all the miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles of trials that racked my brain. I am a woman of the waterfalls ingrained into the patience of this world. My hands are raised to the heavens, palms side up, my throat is hoarse from all the prayers I've offered up. My eyes are bloodshot from the weep in my heart, offered up for all the patience in this world. Well, just give me food, clothes and shelter, I'll make a home. Give me peace, love and water, the cornerstones for humanity to prosper. Not your words alone, respect this patience that I hold. 'Cause I've got shoulders broad as oceans to bear the pain, and I've got thighs as strong as mountains to take the strain, and I've got arms as long as rivers filled by sweetening rain to rock the cradle of this weary world. 'Cause I've got the whole world in my hand, and I overstand the rites of passage to your master plan. Under a purple passion halo, I am woman. Respect this patience that I hold. And then she looked at me
She looked at me dead in my eyes and she read me like a comic strip. Because it's rare, really rare when a person can actually see you. And her smile etches in my brain an incredible sunsets, strutting peach blush, blazing glory and lavender. And I felt the anger that was crowding my heart disperse, disgruntled and shabby, and grace descended mercilessly to mend the trauma that had begun to build around it. And she said to me, "Child, the moment you accept yourself for who you are changed. There is no going back." And I realized she had just handed me a tradition I had been waiting for. The permission to persevere into my womanhood. Because the fury's fervor boils. The fury's fervor roils. The furies pour oil on troubled waters. Thank you.
Longing to get back at those that provoke that person in me that seeks revenge. And it gets more strenuous the more I try to pretend to keep a calm exterior. When I'm furious, and inside I burn, yearning to spit, swear and curse. Act first and ask questions later. My thirst for blood leaves my mouth so dry I can't laugh, it hurts so bad. And I'm so sad. I cry dry tears because I'm so mad at self. I allowed this saga to affect my health. Now everything I eat tastes like crushed glass. And my mind is filled with rage when I recall scenarios past, dark and full of fear. And I don't know how I got here, but I want out. I've shouted and screamed until my ears popped. I've tried to escape, but the door's locked. There must be another way out of this mind state before it's too late. And I end up digging 2 graves. One of them for me, which means that my enemies have won. And I'm back to where I started, buried deep in darkness, in the hole where my heart is angry. Number one, this is my flatmate Leonin, who practices bass. So every poem I come up with now, it's got this little bass line kind of thing to it, you know what I mean? So it's very hard for me to think now without some kind of bass going on. But Leah, you've got to go, haven't you? Alright, thank you very much for that. You may go, I will take the bass line, just leave it back there.
Carry me where I don't see. Sacrifice
But if you listen well, you'll be able to hear the dot, 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 dash, 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 dot, dot, dot. Subtle SOS above the daily stress. It's hushed, suppressed, lest it drown out the drone of so many iPods. I'm really liking all this female energy. Very good. Thank you very much, Errol, for putting this on. More of that in the world. I want to cheer for female energy. Right. This next one is called peristalsis, which is the muscular movement that means that you can still swallow when you're upside down. Anyway.
Okay, don't try that.
You fancy a long one, nestled in sofas, unrestrained. There is a great laden haze in your lounge before I get there. I move your coat, rent by a stranger's too friendly embrace, and the distance between us shrivels to a pea and is flicked aside. I hear there's joy untold in half-cut, shambolic encounters, hair in mouth on the pool tables of foreign bars, and the drawer are dead bodies on the tablecloth. Patterned obliteration, stricken, passed out mid-jump, you'd hope. We reap the night-long fruit of potluck CDs sewn in corners, Amos, Pixies, Reinhardt. Occasionally, you are a woman who likes to squirm under the blind gaze of a maggot devouring flesh. You comply with the implicit racist imperative to be Italian. Each new cigarette conjures fingers steeped in sex. You tell me, I am liberation. I am the truth learned through suffering. I am old Europe, proud in the seat of her scars. Confidence is self-absorption, understood. When you bring me pasta, undercooked in a mayonnaise sauce, I consume you. But in a pause, the window pulls a reflection of three, an extra person in the room. I don't leave until the watery morning traipses the cold pavement, commuting gold into base.
So I pull on her face just like your friend. Well, yes, you know what's going on. 'Cause the fuse in me, oh yes, and me are burning strong. But I will never be your stepping stone. Take it all or leave me alone. I will never be your stepping stone. I'm crying all around on my own. Okay, I think I've got a few technical difficulties, so I think you might need to leave that. So it's sounding very different to what she said. Should we do the extra? Yeah, should we do the extra?
As they huddled on the floor, yeah, you can play it nice then. No, as they lay huddled on the sofa together, with soft music playing in the background, Charles admired Suzanne's strong West Indian African features in the dim light. Can I paint you asked out of the blue. Suzanne was taken aback, since he'd never shared his secret passion for art with her before. Paint me? She asked curiously. Well, I could start by drawing you, just for fun, he replied. She looked at him in surprise. I didn't know you could draw. Well, I haven't done it in ages, but I'm thinking of getting back into it again. And what better way than to start by drawing my favourite lady? She paused, smiled, shrugged her shoulders, and said, okay, when? No time like the present, he said, reaching over for his briefcase. Okay, well, what are you going to draw on? Charles pulled out a drawing pad, pencil, and rubber. Oh, so you had this all planned, Suzanne remarked. Well, I was hoping you'd say yes, and I just thought I'd be prepared. Well, then let me change into something a bit more interesting, she said, heading towards her queen. Before you go, Charles requested, can you lose the wig? I prefer to draw you in all your natural beauty. Sure, she replied, not feeling sure at all. She couldn't believe that Charles wanted to draw her with her nappy hair, whereas he couldn't understand why she insisted on wearing the wigs and the weaves. When she had a perfectly little head of hair underneath. 10 minutes later, Suzanne reappeared wearing a red and black lace number, with her own natural hair out. Because it had been in plaits under the wig, it was a mass of wild curls. Charles eyed her up from top to bottom. Her throne was striking in all its natural, untamed glory. The lace and satin bodice she was wearing pushed up her breasts, enhancing her cleavage. The matching thong barely covered her smooth, waxed vagina. The bodice and thong were coupled with black suspenders and stockings, and the look was finished off with a pair of high-heeled, black patent shoes. The whole ensemble drove him crazy. He could feel his pride rising, but now was not the right time. Damn, boy. Damn, Charles reacted. How am I supposed to concentrate with you in that? Come on, be professional about this, Suzanne teased, strutting sexily over to the couch. How do you want me? She continued to tease him as she perched herself provocatively on the edge of the sofa, crossing her legs. This woman, Charles said, smiling to himself. Okay, he really wanted to catch her profile and the contours of her lips, the nose, the forehead, and her slender figure. Why don't you kind of lie on your back and rest on your elbows and kind of drop your head back a bit, he said, in response to her question. She got in the position requested, bending one knee. How long do I have to stay like this, she inquired. I'm not sure. Do you think you can hold that position? He asked back. I don't think so, not for long anyway. He had poured his heart, sorry. I'm going to go down a bit, down a bit, down a bit, so he draws her. Read it all?
Yeah, read the
Okay. Okay, you get yourself into a comfortable position, and I'll be happy with that. Suzanne rolled onto her right side, propped her head up with her right hand, and looking at him seductively, rested her left knee in front on the couch. Perfect, Charles called out, as if directing a film. He suddenly began to feel nervous. He hadn't done this in over 20 years. What if he made a mess of it? What if she didn't like it and thought he was insulting her looks? What if he had to take control of his negative thoughts before they got the better of him? I can do this. I am a brilliant artist. I am talented, he told himself. With pencil in hand ready to begin, he thought he had better protect his interests for later that night. Babe, can I say before I start, But you are a beautiful work of art yourself. And no matter how this turns out, I think you're gorgeous. Oh, that's so sweet! Suzanne got up from the sofa and started making her way towards him. He dropped his artist pad and pencil on the floor, ready to receive her. Straddling his lap, she French kissed him full on the lips, wrapping her arms around his neck and her tongue around his tongue. He grabbed each of her bum cheeks, pressing her against his hard-on. Suddenly she broke away, saying, "Okay, let's get back to business. You've got a drawing to do, remember?" As she slowly meandered her way back to the sofa, she took a fresh red rose from the bouquet in the vase on the table, and getting back into the pose, positioned the rose strategically under her nose. Nice touch," Charles commented. But secretly he was beginning to wish he had never asked to draw her. Look at her, all ready for a good sex session, and now I have to spend God knows how long drawing her instead. Mind you, she wouldn't be dressed up like that if I hadn't asked to draw her in the first place. All these thoughts were going through his head as he sat there, staring, pencil in hand, ready to begin. Then his imagination began to go wild as he pictured himself taking her from behind, massaging her smooth, supple arse as he drove pride in and out of her wet vagina with the thong still on, pulling it to one side. "Have you started yet?" Suzanne burst his bubble. Oh, yes, I was just starting.
Within my heart. Each time we meet, I'm seated in calmness, and there's no pressure. We laugh and exchange glances, playing characters with met along our palms, and my feeling warms up as I watch our words dance in the candlelight. And it's night outside, but time has no place when you come to my place. And when I quickly see the gaze of your ever-evasive eyes, I see more of you than you wish me to. I see vulnerability as if you were a baby born yesterday, equipped with all the wisdom of the world. I know that you wish to be held, but stay back a safe distance, avoiding attachment, and I understand. And even though your face appears to be dry, my soul can taste the salt in the tears that yours cries. And for the first time in my life, I admit that I might not be able to heal those scars inflicted by ghosts of your past. But I am willing to help you find your missing piece, if you will let me, because I miss peace too. That's that. Thank you. Okay, my second poem. I'm going as quick as I can because I know you're all thirsty and tired and shit. So, yeah. Alright.
What a man.
So, this poem is called I Am, and it's really a poem about what you are. A brother texted me before I got here and said to me, go and get the people, remind the people of what they are and who they're capable of. So this poem is for you guys, in the hope that you might recognize a bit of yourself in it. So it goes like this. I am a woman, I am a soldier, I am a Buddhist, I am a Rasta. I am a beggar, I am wealthy, I am dying, but I am healthy. I am humble, I am gifted, I am fallen, I am lifted. I am wiser, I am learning, I am cool, I am burning. I am shadow, I am sunshine, I am winter, I am springtime. I am loud, I am profound, I am subtle, I am proud. I am a rebel, I am the rules, I am broken, I am the tool. I am prayer, I am ritual, I am the world, I am the fool. I am a witch, I am a wizard, I am a heat wave, I am a blizzard. I am magical, I am an illusion, I am clarity, I am confusion, I am a rock. I am a mountain, I am the draft, I am the drought, I am the fountain. I am the mother, I am the child, I am tame, but I am wild. I am free, I am trapped, I am lost, I am a map. I am the way, I am the truth, I am divine, I am the proof. I am silent, I am a voice, I am able, I am a choice. I am dangerous, I am healing. I am fearless, I am feeling. I am heartless, I am compassion. I am balanced, I am aggression. I am mundane, I am amazing. I am the same, I'm always changing. I am.
Tears to produce tracks that are wrapped in aspartame. Good stories sprinkled with sweetness, now that sugar canes the minds of the youth, feasting off this food for thought. They get diabetes thinking it's good to be sick. That's what happens when you don't own shit. That's why I have a rebel's rage. I am the philosopher's stone, the builders refused, to say it. Why? Because they thought they saw him when they saw me emerge on stage. Frightened. From 1801, they still hate him. They still hate he for fighting for our independence. Though I'm urged to relax. Even when I brush my teeth, fluoride took a ride from my nervous system. The tranquilizers to tame tigers and to tree hugging hippies. I'd be easy to control. But I'm a free spirit trapped in the confines of a mind struggling to find a way out of these binds. What a feat to defeat this matrix I've made. The white rabbit's hole, my home. From age 14, the substance within the red pill spills from my pineal gland daily. Never had a choice when I chose it. As a youngster, every morning I'd rise in my bed like a phoenix to meet the sun by the skyline to engage the ladder of stairs. I exchange 2020 vision for its fire to ignite my soul. I feel the eternal burn within the chambers of my heart pumping the blood of lava. Don't question the passion for blue flame. My purpose is